Did you know that in Illinois, property managers are required to be licensed through the state of Illinois? Hi, I'm 𝗥𝗲𝗹𝘁, partner founder here at the licensed property management company, GC Realty Development, and also co-host of Chicago's #1 real estate investing podcast, Straight Up Chicago Investor. Check that out. But what I want to talk to you about today is what a lot of people don't know and a lot of people don't realize. And it kind of hit me because somebody called up asking for our property management service the other day, and they asked us if we're licensed. I'm like, what an obvious question to ask that nobody asked me at all. They call it we get inquiries, about 1,000 inquiries a year, a little more than that. And no one ever asked that question. And that's probably one of the more important questions. If you ever went to a doctor, you want to make sure he's a licensed doctor, right? Sometimes you take it for granted, but if he was working out the back of your dry cleaner, you question that, right? So understanding who you're working with is super important in property management, just like it might be for any other service that you're using. So if you're looking to know if whoever you're working with is licensed, it's a really easy lookup. So you could go to IDFPR. If you Google up IDFPR Illinois license lookup or IDFPR lookup, it'll take you to the IDFPR website, which is Illinois Department of Federal Regulation, something like that. You go there and you can put in the company name and put under the category, which is real estate, and it will show if they're licensed or not. If they don't exist, then I'd start digging deeper on that. If they do exist, you can see at least who is the managing broker, the person you're talking to. If they're licensed, you can see how many licensees they have at their company. For example, if you pull up GC Realty, I believe we have about 30 people licensed under my name as the managing broker. And some of that's important too, because you might have the managing broker that's licensed, but you probably want your property manager licensed as well too, or at least your leasing agent licensed. So whoever's going to be handling those things, they have to be licensed here in the state of Illinois, and that's important for you to make sure that is happening, because there's a level, a standard that comes with that that's super important, and we'll talk about financial here in a second. But once you look up the license, you can also see to the far right side it says ever been disciplined. It says ever disciplined, and it's got a Y or an N. And if it says Y, then they have been disciplined for one reason or another. I'm not sure what it is, but the IDFPR was either found something at one of their random audits, or the IDFPR had a report given to them that they looked into, and they found that property manager to be guilty, or they did something wrong. And so if you put it, and they're disciplined for whatever reason. So if you see a Y there, that's another reason to kind of start asking questions. And anytime a licensed realtor, real estate agent, or property manager is disciplined, that's all public record too. So you could probably Google that up and find that as well too. Or you could call the Realtor Association as well, whether it be CAR, Chicago Association of Realtors, or you call the Main Street, which are the two big ones here. Main Street's more in the suburbs. So you could call and check that out as well too. So back to the financial side of things. So one thing that, as a licensed property management company, we are required to keep our financial records a certain way. And we are required to put the escrow account, that if you're working with us, the money that you're giving us, that account, we're required to hold that at a certain type of bank, and we're required to have that bank account on file with the IDFPR. And at any given time, they can walk through that door, ask for records, and if we're not up to date on this, that's where we get disciplined, over there in that little section that you might look up and see. And we've never been disciplined, so I'm very proud of that. 23 plus years, we've kept it clean. We've always followed the rules, especially when it comes to other people's money. You don't mess with other people's money. That's something that you're protected by. So if your property manager is not licensed and they're not holding these accounts that are being governed by the IDFPR, then if something goes wrong, you have so much less leverage to be able to right a wrong situation, or get a situation that was wrong, get it righted by whether it be filing an insurance claim, or filing a complaint, or just getting the money back from the property manager in general. So keep that in mind. You're raising your risk with that. Now, the other level here of license versus not license is you might be working with a property manager that has a license that's working underneath the managing broker, but the managing broker doesn't even realize that real estate agent is managing properties on the side. This happened to me one time. I remember when Google first came out, this is early 2011, 12 or whatever, I Googled up property management Bartlett. We were located in Bartlett, Illinois at that time. And I saw a guy promoting his property management company that was working in our office. At that time, we didn't even come up on the radar as a property manager, but this other guy in my office did. And where we had to have the conversation was, all of those funds that he's collecting and holding, and he might keep it in a separate account, he might be paying that owner out, but I did not have those accounts on file with IDFPR, and he was technically running an illegal property management company. And when it comes to that, that's just as bad as being unlicensed versus being under the supervision of a managing broker handling property management the way that the IDFPR wants everything handled and tracked and so forth. So keep that in mind. Not only do I see people hire property managers that aren't licensed, but maybe they're just hiring a random realtor. Now, that realtor might be awesome, right? So I'm not bashing realtors doing property management on the side. But you got to make sure that that person's taking the proper steps to make sure you're covered, because then you get into another part of insurance, right? So if a managing broker in a licensed company is doing property management, they now have to report that to their E&O insurance. Now, all licensed real estate companies are required to report or to have E&O insurance. That's errors and omissions. So if you make a mistake, not on purpose, you have this insurance that is there to help you settle any disputes, settle any claims or whatnot. So if you're not reporting that to your E&O company because maybe the managing broker doesn't know that the realtor is doing property management, then if something goes wrong, then you lose that coverage you might have for an E&O for a proper property management company you might be working with. So I'm throwing a lot out here, but at the end of the day, if you're looking for a property manager here in Chicago or Illinois, make sure that you are looking up and make sure that they're licensed and make sure that they fall under the IDFPR and everything is kind of on the up and up. So if you have additional questions, we offer property management, we offer tenant placement services. We'd love to hear from you. We're definitely licensed, and we'll talk soon.